Hey everybody, Mark Johnson here, founder and creative director of Able Abe Studios, back again with another It's Go Time! Episode 18. In today's episode, I talk to you about one of my favorite authors and one who's inspired me to continue writing or inspired me to write in the first place. My favorite author is Elmore Leonard. He's written a lot of different books, but his style is usually considered either crime fiction. I think early on it would be considered Western or pulp Westerns. And you know, that style has just been something that's kind of been with me for a long time. I really enjoy those kind of stories. You know, it's kind of, you know, gives you a slice of life that maybe you don't necessarily, or that you're not so familiar with, and so that's kind of why I enjoy his books. But it goes deeper than that. And so what I'll do in today's post, I'll just give you a brief rundown of the life of Elmore Leonard and his works. Elmore Leonard, he was an American novelist, a short story writer, and also a screenwriter. His best known works are Get Shorty, Ombre, Mr. Majestic, and Rum Punch. Elmore Leonard was born in New Orleans. Him and his family at a certain point left New Orleans and moved to Detroit, and that's kind of where he grew up a great deal part of his life. And so his style, his essence, a lot of things that you can kind of draw out of his writing can be directly allocated to his life and time in Detroit. He got his big break in 1950 when writing pulp westerns. His first novel was The Bounty Hunters. Elmore Leonard's writing style can be considered gritty realism. He got a great feel for dialogue, and I think those are the two things that stand out the most in his writing. One of his famous quotes, or a quote that he gave a reporter when they had asked him about his writing style or his writing process, he says that if it sounds like writing, he's going to rewrite it. To give you a few of the books that he wrote that were actually turned into movies, they were Get Shorty, Rum Punch, and Be Cool. Get Shorty and Be Cool could be considered, you know, part one would be Get Shorty, part two would be Cool. It's the movie that involved John Travolta. I think Uma Thurman was at least in the first one. Get Shorty, I think even Danny DeVito was in the first one. Be Cool, the second one, I don't remember necessarily who was in that one, but I know John Travolta was the main one that was brought back from the first film. Another film that he also wrote the book to that was turned into a film that was kind of noteworthy was Rum Punch, which was actually redone by Quentin Tarantino, and then it was called Jackie Brown. Elmore Leonard was kind of introduced to me through Quentin Tarantino. As he talked to, you know, I watched a lot of Quentin Tarantino interviews back in the day, and he had actually talked about Elmore Leonard as one of his inspiration. I don't know if it was around the same time he was doing Jackie Brown or previous, and so at that point for me is when I kind of got introduced to Elmore Leonard. You know, hearing Quentin Tarantino talk about it and how it inspired him, and then once I went back and started researching his books and then started collecting his books, I kind of, you know, found a love for him as well, because, you know, he does, like I said, he talks that gritty realism. He's really, you know, got interesting use of dialogue, and in an interview he had also talked about how he can't really start writing unless he's really familiar with the characters, and so a lot of times the characters are just in his head, or, you know, wherever that space is, that he would kind of, you know, gather with them and try to get the most out of them. And they weren't talking. He said that most times that he wouldn't be able to kind of start a book unless the actors, or not just the actors, the characters started interacting with each other. And he didn't know necessarily where the end would take him, but he would let the characters lead him. And unfortunately, Elmore Leonard is not with us anymore. He passed away in August of 2013, but he left behind a great amount of work, and that work again is what has inspired me to kind of go for this writing thing again. You know, he's kind of inspired me to kind of, you know, go on this path. You know, I know he's passed away, but his legacy is still here, and so I just kind of wanted to share that today. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, definitely subscribe. And, you know, if you have a favorite author or a favorite writer or type of writing that you like to do, or, you know, author or whatever, leave that and share that with me in the comment box below. I'd love to hear, because maybe I might find a new author that inspires me just as much as Elmore Leonard has. And so, like we always do at this time, have a blessed day. See you on the flip side. Let's go!